You started skating at a young age, Landon, and you started playing hockey as a young kid. Was this a goal of yours to play in the World Juniors? And when was the time frame you thought that this might be possible?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a dream of mine. It started when I was young, growing up playing mini sticks in the Slaggert household. We'd throw on the USA jerseys and always remember around Christmas time, like the most exciting time was watching the World Juniors. So it's always been a dream of mine. And kind of as the years went on, I realized that it could be possible for me to play on the team. And look, I was fortunate enough to make the team this year. So it was pretty a special experience to kind of live out that dream.
Before Christmas, we had an Irish hockey season ticket holder virtual event, and your dad was a part of it, or I guess I should call him Coach Slaggert. But he kind of discussed all the things that you guys had to do before you even played a game, just being quarantined in your room. It sounds like you're having meals virtually with your teammates. Can you take us through everything it took just to get into the tournament? And then once the tournament started, just what the experience was like?
Yeah, so it started, I think I left December 6th, and we were in a camp up in Plymouth, Michigan for the 6th through the 13th. And they were pretty strict. We had to get tested a few times while we were there. And it was a good training camp, though. We got some practices in, some workouts. And then from there, we took a plane up to Edmonton. And right away, we were sent to our rooms and couldn't leave for 4 days. So we just had meals given to us at our door, got tested right there at the door, and then hopped on a lot of Zoom calls. So we just try to keep us busy. And I think they brought on some different players to kind of let us ask questions. Like Patrick Kane was on, Dylan Larkin, Charlie McAvoy. So it was pretty cool to learn from them. And then going into the tournament, it was a great experience. We got tested every day, which was just the protocol, and then skates. And I mean, the atmosphere, even without fans, was special. Just everyone amped up to play some games and going and fighting for your country. I think it was definitely a great experience.
And also, you just think about, for so many people, 2020 has been kind of a crummy year for so many reasons. But you, as a hockey player, I was thinking this morning, you've gotten to put on the sweater of the team you grew up watching, Notre Dame, and getting to play for them. And then you get drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks, which I'm sure being drafted was something that you've always wanted to have happen, and then play in the World Juniors. Are you able to enjoy this and process all the amazing things that have happened this year while going through the process of being a hockey player and trying to win games?
Yeah, it's definitely been a very emotional year. It's crazy just with everything going on in the world. But yeah, lots of good things have happened in my hockey career so far. It was special, obviously, to play my first game in the Notre Dame sweater, and then also to get drafted by the Blackhawks. That was a special moment for me and my family. And then obviously, yeah, then leading on to World Juniors, just kind of those three big things definitely brought some enjoyment and light into the tough year of 2020.
All right, next we'll go to Pete Byrne.
Hey, Landon, good to talk to you. Thanks for taking a few minutes. First of all, just take us back to last week, if you would. I'm curious what it was like playing in that final game, winning that game, the experience of afterwards celebrating with your teammates, the medals. Just take me through all of that, if you would, please.
Yeah, it was. We knew it would be a tough match. The Canada team was possibly one of their best teams. They've suited up at the World Juniors with all their first rounders and their talent, and we knew it would be a challenge, but we were confident in our game and knew we had what it takes to win the gold medal. So obviously it was kind of weird. Once we won, it didn't really set in right away. It's kind of like a big sigh of relief. Like, we did it, we got it. And then the celebration kind of started. And a few of those guys I played with the past 2 years. So it was special kind of celebrating that with them. And then obviously with the other players that I got to know throughout the tournament, it was just a great experience and a kind of a testament to what we went through the COVID testing and the quarantine, and kind of finally coming out of all that adversity with a gold medal was pretty special.
Not too many guys get a chance to play for a national team, let alone win a gold medal. Watching the national anthem look special, you had a huge smile on your face. Can you kind of put into words what that was like?
Yeah, I don't even know if I can put it into words. There's nothing like it. Just kind of being there with your brothers, singing the nation song. I think there's not really a way to describe that feeling, but I'll tell you, it's one of the best feelings I've ever had.
Fair enough. And you rejoined your team last week, and you immediately make a really big impact in your first game back. I'm curious, do you feel like having played in the World Junior has allowed you to kind of instantly elevate your game? Like, do you think of yourself any differently, or think of what you're capable of any differently?
Yeah, I think it did give me some confidence. Obviously, playing with a ton of other great hockey players from across the nation, kind of learning some different things from them, and kind of practicing at that high pace. I kind of brought that back to Notre Dame, and it allowed me to kind of step right back into my role and play with some confidence and contribute right away. So it felt good to feel that and kind of contribute and get the guys going. So that was definitely a confidence boost for me.
Thank you.
Next up, John Finneran.
And then just wanted to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, what was your role on Team USA? What did the head coach have you explain to what he needed from you during the course of the tournament, and how do you think you delivered?
Yeah, so obviously having all the great players, the first rounders and all those guys on our team, my role was kind of just being myself, playing my game, and I think I definitely did a good job of that. I was penalty killing, being hard on the forecheck, laying some hits, and I think I delivered, and the coach was happy with my performance. And I think, yeah, it was a role that I stepped right into and contributed to.
Now, I'm going to take you back. I want to ask you, what was it like growing up in a hockey household with your father as the associate head coach and an older brother? You said you guys used to play some kind of sticks games or something like that.
Yeah.
What did you call it?
Mini sticks.
All right, mini sticks.
Mini hockey.
So, yeah, well, so talk a little bit about that, would you, growing up in that kind of a household?
Yeah, so I have my older brother Graham, and then we even have a little brother Carter, and he plays hockey as well. So it's definitely a competitive household. And then with my dad there too, just kind of pushing us to, and I think we pushed each other to be better and just competitive at anything we did, whether that's video games, mini stick, football in the backyard. I think we're a competitive family, and it kind of drove us all to improve our games and also I think even in the classroom too, just to kind of compete with grades and different things like that. So it's definitely a unique situation having a dad as a coach at the time. Like I remember he came and watched me play. I think I was 16, and I had a pretty good game. And I remember him, we get in the car afterwards, and I'm waiting for him to say something, and there's kind of nothing out of him for a while. So I kind of asked, like, how did I play? And he said, how do you think you played? So it's kind of a unique situation, but I like how he handled it, and it's definitely a fun time growing up in this Slaggert household.
When do you recall the first time you were on skates? And what was some of your experience playing? I imagine you played for IIHL and growing up a little bit. Talk about that, and maybe some of the people who might have had an influence on you other than your dad.
Yeah, so I can't even remember the first time I put on skates. That was a long time before I can even remember. I think our parents had us in skates and were carting us around over at the Joyce Center, the old hockey rink here on campus. And yeah, we'd take advantage of that, having all that free ice, just going out, open skates, skating after practice, kind of. And I'd look up to the Notre Dame guys too. They'd stay on and play with us. So that was kind of my memory of putting on the skates for the first time. And then I played for the IIHL growing up. Played in the house league and mini mites, and then my squirt years there, and then played for the Irish Rovers, and those were some of the kind of best times of my life. I still have many friends that were on those teams that I still keep in touch with today. And I think Mike McNeil would have to be one of those influences on me. Kevin Deeth, he was a player here at Notre Dame, and then ended up being a skills coach here in town. So I think those two were definitely had a great influence on me and an impact on my game.
What was it when you were skating amongst the other players and stuff like that at Notre Dame growing up? Who was one player that stuck out in your mind, somebody you liked to watch and idolize a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on. There's so many guys and so many that kind of filtered throughout the years. But I think Anders Lee was definitely someone that I looked up to, not just on the ice. Obviously, his ability speaks for itself, but his leadership and just him as a person is something that I really strive to be like him. And I mean, now he's the captain of the Islanders, and I don't think it's by accident. His leadership and just how he carries himself really kind of opens the door to that.
All right, Landon, next one came through in the chat asking how was your recruitment to Notre Dame, and take us through that process. Obviously, it would be a little bit unique given the family situation.
Yeah, so obviously, having my dad, it's definitely a different process than many other kids that go through it. But yeah, it started probably I was 15. I was at a national camp just over in Buffalo, New York, and some other teams started to show interest, and then we got Coach Jackson out to a game to watch me play, and then after a while they finally offered me, and I was thinking maybe to look at some other schools, but I think at the end of the day I made the right choice. It felt like home, and being close to my family too with my mom. She definitely wanted this for me, and it's I'm glad that it came together.
All right, thank you for that one. We can go back to Darin Pritchett.
Dan, I'm good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Next up, Ben.
Hey, Landon, congrats on the gold medal.
Thank you.
So you've spoken a lot about the hockey family that you have, and most recently this weekend you were playing on a line with your brother Graham. What's that like, and how do you two complement each other's games?
Yeah, so I mean, we've grown up playing just shinny hockey together, and I think we definitely have some chemistry together. It's a unique experience. Like I've always just played just with him in practice and stuff, but never in a game. And now we're finally together on the same team. So it's definitely a special dynamic. I think his vision and playmaking abilities complements my grit and tenacity on the puck. So I think we definitely work well together, and I see us having success here in these next few games.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned also on Team USA, your role is sort of a penalty killer and a grinder. And Coach Jackson has emphasized in the last few weeks that that's something he wants your team at Notre Dame to be harder to play against, to get to those dirty areas in front of the net. What impact can you make for this team, and what do you think the team needs to do better in order to do that? And do you think you guys took a step up with your game against Arizona this weekend?
Yeah, I think I definitely can bring that kind of hard work and grinding to our team, the net front. I think guys can kind of buy into that. I think we're on the brink of being a really good team. We show flashes of it, and I think if we just learn to do that for a whole 60 minutes, I think we'll be in good shape. Obviously, the first game I thought went pretty well against ASU. The second game, we just had to clean a few things up, but I definitely think we can take another step here against Minnesota, playing the number one team here. I think we give ourselves a good shot if we just play a full 60.